So, in a couple of my videos, I've stated that, in my opinion, blue Pikmin are pretty okay as they are. I like the underwater aspect, and with the addition of the water geyser hazards, they seem slightly better. However, a lot, and I mean a lot of you, disagreed with me on this one, and had a lot to say about it too. So, I guess I need to defend the blue Pikmin in detail, and maybe fix them too to make the rest of you happy. Hello everyone, you're watching Variety Television and welcome to another Pikmin 4 video. In this video, we're going to try and both defend and fix specifically the blue Pikmin because apparently they are bad and need a lot of work. Before we get started, I would like to remind you to check and see if you're subscribed, as most of the people who watch my videos are actually not subscribed. So if you would do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, let's get into it. As they are, blue Pikmin are the only Pikmin that are fully immune to water. They deal a standard 1 times damage, and that's about it. And to me, that's always been solid, but a lot of you have expressed the opinion that a Pikmin being good is based whether or not you want to use them or have to use them. And while I can see this point, I do still disagree with it. Things that have been suggested to me as features that make a Pikmin good some of the time still revolve around necessity. Suggestions like, well, yellows are better because you can throw them higher and they dig fast. To which I would say, while that is true, if an item or enemy is up high enough to where only yellows or winged Pikmin could reach them, is that not necessity? Sure, it's a unique feature other than their immunity, but it's just something else where you need to use them rather than wanting to use them. You don't want to use yellows because you can throw them higher, you have to. Yellow Pikmin can also dig faster, but honestly, when is that ever as useful as dealing more damage or stunning an enemy? My opinion is as simple as this. Not all Pikmin are created equally, and not all Pikmin are good at multiple things, and that is totally okay. I think Red, Rock, and the new Ice Pikmin are primarily for attacking. Purple, White, and Wing Pikmin are primarily for carrying and exploring, and Blue and Yellow Pikmin are for dealing with their respective hazards. I mean, be honest, the reason we consider bringing Blues and Yellows is primarily for water and electric gates. In a world with Winged Pikmin, I don't think a lot of people think, I better bring Yellow Pikmin because there might be something high up, when Winged Pikmin do that way better. Most of us probably think, I better bring yellows in case there's electricity, and I better bring blues in case there's water. And that's totally okay with me. Pikmin fulfill different roles, and in my opinion, those roles don't have to be equal for a Pikmin to be good. In my opinion, blues are just as useful as yellow Pikmin. A lot of you stated in the comments that you feel like yellow Pikmin are better than blues. But here's what I think. I would never use yellows for reaching higher objects over winged Pikmin. And I would never use yellows for air combat over winged Pikmin either. Despite the weaker attack of the winged Pikmin, I tend to use them over yellows because they can swarm in the air and they latch back onto enemies automatically without needing to be thrown again, making them way more convenient for high up fights than the yellow Pikmin. And I'm sure I'm not alone here, but when something needs to be dug up, I don't go grab all the yellows I can. I just swarm the object because Pikmin dig it up just fine when they work together. You want to know what does make me turn around and grab yellows though? When there's an electricity enemy or an electrical gate. You want to know when I grab blues? When there's a watery enemy or an underwater segment of the game. I really don't get the argument for yellows being better than blues, as while these little additions to the yellows exist, they don't really matter that much at the end of the day. I mean, they definitely don't matter nearly as much as 1.5 times damage, or a stun, or impact damage, or heck, even walking fast like the white Pikmin can do. I've been in way more situations where I needed a Pikmin to quickly carry something back to the ship before the day ended, more than I've ever needed a Pikmin that can dig something up slightly faster than the rest. I'm about to end my rant on how yellow and blue Pikmin are basically the same and how blue Pikmin definitely can't be the worst type in the game, but I have one more piece of evidence that I want to show you all before we move on. Yesterday, I asked you if you were exploring an area that you've never explored before, and you could only bring yellow Pikmin or blue Pikmin with you, which one would you bring? About an hour later, over 100 of you responded, and this is the results. I think this clearly speaks for itself. Everybody in the comments who is hating on blues, it turns out a large majority of you would still choose blues over yellows, which I find to be very interesting. Moving on, let's try and fix blue Pikmin for all of you that feel like they aren't good enough as is. Giving them 1.5 times damage like the reds could work, but it's generic and it would essentially make reds and blues the same thing other than their immunities. Maybe they could have a special ability or something. I've seen a couple of interesting ideas in the comments. I can't think of who left these ideas or on what videos, but I've gotten the following suggestions. One user suggested that blue Pikmin could get a bubble over their head when they exit water, and that bubble would function like a one-use shield for combat, where like if they got eaten, the bubble would pop and it would cause the enemy to spit the Pikmin out. And this is a decent idea, but I do have a problem with it. This would require you to return to the water after every single fight for this to be a relevant ability, and this sounds pretty inconvenient. And while it is a really cool idea, don't get me wrong, I just don't know if this is what it would take to make blues good enough for all the blue haters. Another person suggested that blues could use their swim speed to leap high up out of the water to take care of higher enemies or reach higher ledges. This is also a really cool idea, but I don't think it fixes the problem people seem to have with blues. This ability still requires you to be in the water. People seem to want an ability that exists outside of a Pikmin's particular hazard, something totally optional but useful. While the usefulness of yellow Pikmin's abilities is debatable, I think I have a perfect solution for everyone who thinks blue Pikmin needs something more. My idea follows the trend that the first Pikmin game set up. The red Pikmin deal extra damage because of their pointy nose. The yellow Pikmin travel higher when you throw them because of their large ears, and blue Pikmin can go in water due to their mouths and gills. Since reds and yellows have their secondary attribute linked to their appearance, why don't we do the same for blues? Instead of the mouth being used just for breathing in water, maybe blue Pikmin could bite down and latch onto enemies better than the other types. So, when an enemy shakes your Pikmin off, the blues are still hanging on. It's nothing crazy or overpowered, and it's not useless either. It's also something that could be unique to this Pikmin that I suppose could make you want to use them instead of needing to. It gives them something to work with outside of their hazard as well, which I guess is cool, so there you go, there's my fix. If it were up to you, how would you fix the blue Pikmin? Do you agree that yellow's features aren't actually that useful after all? Let me know all that good stuff in the comments down below. While you're at it, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thank you so much as always for watching it, but please don't go anywhere. Variety Television will be right back.